In today's session, we will take one small concept on the frequency response. This we had left it. While dealing with the LEDs, we have seen the different structures, the different types of LEDs that we have. Then what are the materials that are used to fabricate these LEDs? We have seen already in the previous session also one topic, that is efficiency, quantum efficiency and LED power we have seen. This one small concept was left out. So let me take this and then we will move to the laser concept. Majorly in this optical sources, we will be dealing with LED and lasers. So what is this modulation bandwidth? You have studied some of the frequency response curves of probably filters, oscillators, right? In your electronics part. So something like that, even if we analyze the frequency response curve that we get for an LED, how we can find out the bandwidth, the range, the capability of this LED. That how we can find out. Modulation bandwidth, it is defined either in electrical terms or in optical terms, because in order to drive this LED हमको current supply करना पड़ेगा. So that in terms of electrical things, that we are giving this modulation bandwidth. So there is one possibility. One more possibility is optical, that is when the light is emitted in the form of the capacity in terms of the light, that also we can give. So there are two ways, either in electrical terms or in optical terms. However, we will be giving you the details of both. Okay, the first half is related to the electrical terms. So the modulation bandwidth, it is defined as the point where the electrical signal, I am talking in terms of electrical now. Okay, so it is defined as the point where your electrical signal power, that is P of W, it has dropped to half of the constant value. What is this constant value? That is the maximum value that it can attain. So it's a constant value that results from the modulated portion of the optical signal. Okay, so if you see this curve, you can see this is your point, electrical 3 dB point, what we say. I forgot to mention the point here. It is 0.707. Generally, when we go for half powers, you remember it is 1 by root 2 times, that is 0.707 times, 3 dB roll off. So here in the words I have mentioned, it has dropped to half of its constant value. If you see, the value is 1, so it has dropped to half. Half in the sense the powers 1 by root 2 times, 0.707, where it is dropped down to 3 decibels. This is electrical 3 dB point. You can see here, this is the electrical 3 dB point. That is the frequency at which the output electrical power is reduced by 3 dB. ये point क्या है? This is that frequency point, because horizontal axis is giving you the frequency. So it is that frequency at which your output electrical power is reduced by 3 decibels. Okay. So this is about the electrical bandwidth. So can I get the expression how we can find out? The ratio of output electrical power at a frequency W, modulated frequency what we call, to the power at zero modulation. So what do you mean by zero modulation? You are not changing anything, right? The applied value is as it is, that is zero modulation. It is the ratio is given by, it is for electrical terms. Okay, so 10 log the electrical power at the frequency W, P of W, divided by the power at zero modulation, say P of 0. Okay, so it is nothing but 10 log of P equals to I square R, you know about it. So taking that, I square of W by I square of 0. Solving this, because I'm telling you according to the definition, it is nothing but it will reduce to the 3 dB value. Okay, the output is reduced by 3 dB. So this ratio I will equate it to 3, that is it is reduction, so minus 3 I'm taking. 10 log this I squares ratio equals to minus 3, or You can take this square to this. It is 20 log i's ratio equals to -3. Take this 20 to the other side. You will get -3 by 20, which is minus 0.15. Or if you remove this logarithm, you go for indices 10 to the power of minus 0.15, you will get across around 0.707. That is nothing but 1 by root 2. Okay. Now, this what I discussed, the equation I of w by I of 0, which is equal to 1 by root 2, this is for electrical terms. But if I talk the modulation bandwidth in terms of the optical terms, optical powers, then how we can define? It is the ratio of optical power that we get at the frequency, modulated frequency W, to the unmodulated value without any modulation, whatever the optical power is there, the ratio of that, with reference to that, we call this ratio optical terms 10 log. This ratio is same. However, here we don't have I square term. If you see here, we had these P equals to I square R. I have taken electrical terms, how we used to take in network theories, right? For any circuit, you take this relationship, power, voltage, and currents. But coming to talking in terms of optical terms, the ratio you can see in the bracket I have written, the detected current, it is directly proportional to the optical fiber. There is no squares here. So that's why if you go for solving this I by I naught ratio, what change you have to do here? The same, similar, -3 is equal to, this square term will be removed. So अगर ये square नहीं आएगा तो ये 20 नहीं होगा, it will become 10 only. So it will be -3 divided by 10, which is -0.3. So -0.15 के बदले में आपको -0.3 मिलेगा. Okay, I have not given the details. I'm just giving you here. So if you remove the log, indices 10 raised to -0.3, which you get around 0.501 or half. Earlier, the relation was 1 by root 2. Here, the relation is half. So this you can observe in the graph. See, for the optical terms, the modulation bandwidth, what I have given you, it is what? It will reduce to the 3 dB point. And what is the value here? It is 0.5. ये जो first value है electrical terms में, it is actually 1 by root 2. Optical terms में value 1 by 2 होगा. So this is about the modulation in LED, modulation bandwidth, that is frequency response in LED. So based on this, we have a problem. Consider a particular LED which has got injected carrier lifetime, that is tau I, which is 5 nanoseconds. Tau I is given as 5 nanoseconds. You need to find 3 dB optical bandwidth, then 3 dB electrical bandwidth. So just now we have seen what is IW by I0 ratio. In case of optical bandwidth, it is equal to 1 by root 2. In case of electrical bandwidth, it is 1 by 2. Okay. So with that, so first one, optical bandwidth, this ratio or equals to this, because it is not square this time for optical, which is equal to 1 by 2. But we have already seen what is P of W. This P of W is P naught into this ratio. Can I show you that? We have already discussed about it. See, modulation in LED. Okay, whether I completed this term, modulation, please just let me know whether I have completed this or not. So what is this modulation of an LED? The frequency response of the optical source, it will give some information. What is that? It is how fast your electrical input is driving the output. Output क्या होगा आपका? So optical source के लिए light is your output. So how fast your electrical input जो आप supply कर रहे हो, it is this will change, either increase or decrease. Okay, how fast it will change your output, light signal. So the modulation bandwidth, now the term comes here. So I have already discussed regarding the modulation bandwidth. So the modulation bandwidth of LED, it is generally determined by three mechanisms. The first one is the doping level. क्योंकि आप जब semiconductor use कर रहे हो for fabrication of LED, you are going for doping obviously, and you're going for alloy structure. You're making use of alloy and heterostructure PN junction. So doping level matters in the active region, okay, not in the confinement, in the active region. Second one, injected carrier radiative recombination lifetime. That is, in the previous session we have seen in quantum efficiency, we have taken it as tau r. Okay, यहाँ पर we are taking it as injected carrier lifetime tau I. And one more, the third mechanism is parasitic capacitance. So we come across different types of capacitors, right? So this is one of the capacitance, parasitic capacitance. If the drive current is modulated at a frequency W, okay, that is modulation frequency आपका omega या W है, so the output power is given by this ratio. This output by P naught, you can take P of 0, or P of W is equal to P naught of this. This is the formula for getting the output power. Optical output power P of W is equal to P naught into bracket 1 by 1 plus this W tau I square raised to 1 by 2. So this is the formula. You can see what is this P naught here. P naught is power emitted at zero modulation frequency. So zero modulation frequency in the sense you can assume that it as a DC signal. Okay. The parasitic capacitance that exists, it will cause डिले ऑफ द कैरियर इंजेक्शन. कैपेसिटेंस अगर प्रेजेंट है उसके इफेक्ट की वजह से जो भी कैरियर्स इंजेक्ट होते हैं इन द एक्टिव रीजन, बिकॉज वी नो इन द एक्टिव रीजन कैरियर्स गेट एक्यूमुलेटेड, राइट? सो वी हैव सीन इन द क्वांटम एफिशिएंसी इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल. तो ये जो एक्यूमुलेट होते हैं इसमें डिले होगा अगर पैरासाइटिक कैपेसिटेंस एग्जिस्ट करेगा. ओके, and this will result in delay of the output. Because carrier injection is getting delayed, output will be delayed obviously. So based on this equation, P of W is equal to P naught, this ratio, we have a problem. A particular LED has 5 nanoseconds injected carrier lifetime, that is tau I is given to you. No modulation current is applied to the device. The output power, that is P of W, when no modulation is applied, the optical power is this, means P naught is given to you. Without any modulation, what is this? Zero modulation frequency. Frequency is zero for modulation in the sense you are not applying any modulation technique here. So that is P of 0 or P naught. So P naught value is given to you as 0.250 milliwatts. Assuming parasitic capacitance are negligible, we need not have to count it. So what are the optical outputs at modulation frequencies? So optical output P of W आपको calculate करना है. दो sub questions हैं, one for 10 megahertz, one more for 100 megahertz. So let us calculate this output, optical output power for 10 megahertz. So use the formula. You have this P of W is equal to P naught 1 divided by 1 plus this W or omega tau I square raised to 1 by 2. So taking this formula, in this W or omega is 2 pi f and frequency is given 10 megahertz. So use this. P naught is given to you when no modulation is applied, that is 0.250 milliwatts. So if you calculate, you will get 0.239 milliwatts. This is your optical output power. Second, अगर आप frequency को change करोगे, first case 10 megahertz, second case 100 megahertz. So use the same formula. Here only the frequency component will change. You will get 0.076 milliwatts. Okay. Now already I have discussed regarding this modulation bandwidth. There are two types, electrical terms or optical terms. So I've discussed about this already. We have got two equations also. Based on this, let us further continue the problem. So we have already seen what is this equation. This, it is nothing but P of W is equal to P naught or P of 0, 1 divided by that term raised to 1 by 2. Okay, so this is the expression. If I take this P naught here, it will become PW by P naught is equal to this ratio. So that ratio I have written here. And हम optical power calculate कर रहे हैं. What is the value for this? It is half. So I'm equating both. Okay. Simplify this. Denominator terms you can observe. Numerator दोनों 1 1 है. I'm equating the denominators directly, or you can cross multiply anyhow. Taking this square root, so square on both sides. This is 1 by root 2. 1 by 2 will be removed. The power here it will become 2 square. Okay, squaring on both sides. So it will become 4. Further, take this 1 to the other side. 4 minus 1 is 3. Again, square. Take the square root. You will get root 3. Or this omega is 2 pi f into tau I is equal to root 3. What is the frequency? That is modulation bandwidth हमको पता करना है. What is the frequency? F is equal to root 3 divided by 2 pi tau I, or tau I is given to you 5 nanoseconds in the question. Substitute that, you will get 55.1 megahertz. Now talking about the electrical bandwidth. Electrical bandwidth और optical bandwidth में difference यही है. यहाँ पर optical bandwidth में we take the ratio 1 by 2, but here the value is 1 by root 2. Okay, so going in that terms, what I will do, I can relate it. जो भी optical power में हमको bandwidth आया है, अगर उसको आप 1 by root 2 करोगे, multiplied by 1 by root 2, you will get electrical bandwidth. So directly, no need to again follow all the steps. So take this directly. जो भी frequency आया है optical bandwidth, उसको आप multiply by 1 by root 2 करो. So taking this, you will get 39 megahertz as the bandwidth. So this is a simple problem based on the optical and electrical bandwidth calculations. Hope you understood this. Now coming to the next optical source, that is laser diodes or lasers. Very important. What is the difference that we have seen in a laser and in a LED in the starting? Sorry, just a second. Okay, this is the first introductory part. When we started with the module 3, we can observe we have listed different optical sources. We have seen lasers already. They were incoherent. जो भी आपको output मिलेगा, their frequency, the different parameters, they were not in phase. They were of different phase. So they were incoherent sources. Talking about lasers, they are coherent sources. मतलब जो भी आपको output मिलेगा, उसके parameters same रहेंगे. That is coherence. Now coming to the discussion of laser introduction. You know it is an acronym. We can elaborate it. LASER. So it stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser का full form है. So यहाँ पे how many terms are important? First term is this, and second term is this. So these are the two terms that plays important role in laser. One is amplification. मतलब जो आप input दे रहे हो, actually optical source आपको light देगा. Okay, it will emit light. And in case of laser, you will get amplified light. We have seen in LEDs some problems we have solved on quantum efficiency. Try to remember, recall, efficiency was half, 50% only. But laser हमको amplified output देगा. That is one of the advantage with laser. And the second parameter which is important is stimulated emission. Means we force it. Okay, it is stimulated, forceful emission. So laser is an optical source which provides amplification of the optical power. and acronym we have seen the long form. The emitted radiation in case of laser, it is coherent, that is important. जो भी आपको output मिलेगा, parameters will be same, and it is highly monochromatic, and the light beam is very much directional. So the example आपने देखा होगा, small laser beams आप use करते हो as a pointer, right? It will be very much highly directional. So that is example. Now talking about the laser action in the introductory part, what is the principle behind this? So laser action, basically we come across three key processes here. The first one is photon absorption, second one is a spontaneous emission, the third one is, as the name suggests, stimulated emission of radiation. The third process is stimulated emission. So in the introductory part, when I dealt with semiconductor physics, I had given you some brief about this absorption and emission. So let us study about this in detail. So I have given here for these three processes the diagrams, energy diagrams I have given you, energy level diagrams. First one is photon absorption. So ये first diagram absorption को depict कर रहा है. You can observe we have got two levels. This is your lower energy level, higher energy level. In your textbooks, lower energy level is regarded as a ground state, and ये जो higher energy level है E2, it is regarded as excited state. Okay, so ये first figure में आप क्या observe करोगे? Initially जो भी electrons हैं, they are in the ground state, low energy level पे हैं. Okay, whenever a photon is incident on this, what will happen is this electron will take that energy from the photon, that is absorption is happening. So ये energy जब electron ground state में है, उसका energy क्या है? E1, and photon का energy क्या है? You can see in the figure, it is H, either mu or you take HF, frequency. This mu is nothing but frequency only. So, or HV, what you call Planck's constant, H. So this is the energy, that is nothing but your gap energy, Eg, which is equal to E2 minus E1, which is nothing but HF. So ये जो photon जब incident करेगा, what electron will do? Electron initially is in E1 state, E1 energy possess करता है. जब photon when it comes, when it is incident or on this electron will absorb this photonic energy and the energy will become this much. So energy क्या हो गया? E1 plus HF. So you can see E2 minus E1 is equal to HF. So what is HF plus E1? Which is nothing but, just rearrange the terms, what you will get? Earlier electron का energy E1 है. जब photon incident होगा, it will absorb the energy of the photon. Okay, and from this equation observe, अगर आप E1 को इधर लेके जाओगे, E1 plus HF will become E2. So इसका total energy क्या होगा? E2. मतलब it has got a sufficient energy to jump, to take the transition. So that's why here you can see the electron has jumped to the excited state or higher energy level. Okay, this is about the absorption. E1 is the lower energy state, E2 is the excited energy state. The transition of these two states involves, so I'm talking about in general, either absorption होगा or emission होगा. Emission में again या तो spontaneous होगा या फिर stimulated रहेगा. ये general mechanism है of photonic energy, that is HF is equal to E2 minus E1, that is EG, gap energy. So talking about the absorption, normally क्या होता है system में? Equilibrium, what we call it, ground state में the carriers will be there. Okay, the system will be in the ground state, so stable रहेगा. When a photon of energy, that is E2 minus E1 is equal to HF, if it is incident on a system, okay, it should be on a system, the electrons which are present in the ground state, they will actually, they are in E1 state, they will absorb this photonic energy and उनका energy इतना ज्यादा होगा कि they get excited to state 2. This is given in figure 1. होप यू अंडरस्टूड अबाउट द अब्जॉर्प्शन. फोटोन इंसिडेंट होगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन एब्जॉर्ब करेगा एंड इट विल गो टू द लेवल E2. ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू द सेकेंड, ये तो अब्जॉर्प्शन हो गया. नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट एमिशन प्रोसेसेस. एमिशन में दो टाइप्स हैं, या तो स्पॉन्टेनियस होगा या तो स्टिमुलेटेड होगा. Spontaneous emission. In case of spontaneous emission, since your energy level E2 जो higher energy है, it is obviously unstable state. It is not an equilibrium state. Normal state आपका even है, ground state. But E2 is what? It's an excited state. That's why it is called excited or higher energy level. So it is unstable. So जो भी वहां पर carriers होंगे, the electrons, they will not want to stay there. They will want to return back to the original ground position. Okay, ये tendency है. Naturally, things in environment, in nature will try to attain equilibrium. Okay, so electron वहां पे ज्यादा देर नहीं रहेगा in E2 state. It will try to return back to the ground state. So whenever it will try to return back, energy you cannot create, you cannot destroy. Law of conservation of energy, you know it. So जब already यहाँ से this figure I'm telling you, absorption में already वो E2 state में है. Okay, but यहाँ पर वो ज्यादा देर तक नहीं रहेगा. It is unstable state. So it has to move back, take the transition, return back to E1 state. And while doing so, जब वो jump करेगा, एनर्जी उसके पास जो है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे फर्स्ट में फोटोनिक अब्जॉर्प्शन हुआ है, इट हैज टू रिलीज सम एनर्जी, राइट? इट कैन नॉट विथहोल्ड. सो व्हाइल डूइंग दिस, some energy will be released, that is emission, and the amount is nothing but Eg, which is nothing but EHF. Same amount of energy will be released. जितना absorb किया था उतना release हुआ है, so you cannot conserve the energy. So this is your spontaneous emission. Randomly जो higher level में है, without you're doing nothing here. Okay, you are not supplying any outside things here. जो E2 level में electrons हैं, they will naturally come back to the stable state, and you, while doing so, it is emitting the radiation and the light, photon. So this is spontaneous emission. जो भी यहाँ पर photon emit होगा, जो light emit होगा, it is incoherent. So ये जो केस है हम already LED में देख चुके हैं, it is incoherent. Okay, try to remember direct and indirect band gaps. क्या होता है in direct band gaps? You know, the transition is happening. Try to remember, photon will be released. In indirect, you need one phonon, intermediate particle, to conserve the momentum. This is about spontaneous emission. You can see it in the figure 2. And this occurs, spontaneous emission, without any external stimulation. You are not forcing any the system to, you know, have the transition. Naturally, it is happening. These emissions are random, and it is incoherent. Talking about the third one, stimulated emission. Here, the electron, it can also be forced to make a downward transition from the excited level to the grounded state by an external stimulation. Let me go back here. I'm taking the reference of this first figure. Already E2 level पे है वो electron. Okay, E2 level पे already it is there. In spontaneous, what is happening? It will try to come back to the ground state. But when doing so, जब electron already higher level पे है, before spontaneously या फिर ऐसे ही randomly before it can come back, we can also force it much before. Electron जो यहाँ पे है, वो unstable state में है. Before it decides to come back, we ourselves, just before that, what we can do? We can supply a photon to it. So that's what is stimulation. We are forcefully giving the photon to it. So what is this? Electron, it can be forced to make the transition. Anyhow, naturally it can come back. Yes, that is spontaneous emission. But much before that can happen, we can also make this electron to forcefully, you know, we can make it to have the transition from that higher level to the ground state. How? By using the external stimulation. So what we do here, a photon energy that is E2 minus E1 is equal to HF, which is equal to Eg. If this is incident on this electron, ये electron कहाँ पे है? Already it is in the here E2. Okay, यहाँ पे है वो electron. Still it has not jumped to the ground state. It is still there. So when a photon is incident on the system, जब वो electron already excited state में है, higher level पे है, so the electron is immediately stimulated. So it will be forced to return or drop to the ground state. Okay, much before it itself can come back, we are forcing it to come back. And while doing so, as we are forcing it, we are supplying a photon and we are asking him to come to the ground state. In this process, it gives off a photon of energy Eg. You can see in the figure. We are supplying Eg to this electron. So in this, what is happening? Electron, obviously, it is coming here to the ground state. But earlier, you can see Eg energy was released in spontaneous emission. Here, you can see much more photons are released. If you go for stimulated emission, the amount of light that you get will be more. यहाँ पर आप 1 amount of photon अगर दिए हैं तो यहाँ पे 2 amounts of photon आपको रिलीज हुआ है, that is amplification. तो stimulated emission and जो भी ये आपको output मिला है, they are coherent in nature. तो उनके parameters, frequency, उनके phase सभी same रहते हैं. So that is a coherent source. Okay, coherent light, what we call. So this emitted photon, it is in phase with the incident photon. So hope you understood about these 3 things: absorption, spontaneous emission, stimulated emission. Okay. Now, hopefully you know about this term, a very popular term, population inversion. Maybe while dealing with your lasers concept, you might have studied about it. So let me just recall you. In thermal equilibrium, जो nature में है, density of excited electrons is small, obviously, क्योंकि जब आप E1, E2 लेते हो, E1 is the ground lower energy and E2 is the higher energy. So most of the things in thermal equilibrium, they will be here, the carriers. Okay, stable condition E1 है, तो यहाँ पर रहेंगे वो, not in unstable level. So the density of excited electrons means जो E2 level पे जो electrons रहेंगे, it is very negligibly small. So most of the photons incident on the system, they will be, इसीलिए जहाँ excited state में ज्यादा नहीं रहते हैं, that's why absorption process ज्यादा होगा, more than spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. Absorption is a natural phenomenon. Okay, so stimulated emission is very negligible. Out of those 3 processes, naturally speaking, absorption rate is more rather than emission. So इसीलिए what will happen in laser is stimulated emission, we can make it to happen. That is, इसका rate हम ज्यादा कर सकते हैं, absorption को कम कर सकते हैं. If we invert the population, मतलब जो higher energy state आपका E2 है, यहाँ पर naturally carriers कम है, यहाँ पर carriers ज्यादा रहेंगे stable condition में. If we can invert this population, excited energy level, higher energy level में अगर आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा carriers रखेंगे, then we call this process population inversion. You are making the carriers more in excited state. That is, the excited state, there the population of the carriers is much greater than the ground state. We call this population inversion. How you can do this? Normally तो thermal equilibrium में यहाँ रहते हैं. How you can achieve this? This can be achieved by pumping techniques. And in semiconductor laser, what we will be studying now, it is achieved by injecting the electrons into the material at the device contacts. Or we even can use optical absorption method by means of externally injected photons. Just now we have seen photons incident करके हम इसका quantity बढ़ा सकते हैं, population of the electrons in the excited state, we can make it more. Population inversion can be achieved by this method, either that is pumping techniques, either by injecting the electrons into the material, or by using the externally injected photons. This is about the introduction of the lasers. In the next concept, we have to study about the laser thermal conditions. Okay, so that we will be continuing.